Hello, welcome to Miss Flores's virtual classroom. Welcome. Happy Friday. Today is November 20th. I know it is the day right before Thanksgiving break. I know you're very excited. I'm very happy to have you here. I am doing an interactive read aloud today. We are going to be reading another book by Helen Lester. We've already read Princess Penelope's Parrot, and then we read Hooray for Wadney Wat. These are the other books we read by Helen Lester. Today we're going to be reading Listen, Buddy. And remember, our illustrator is Lynn Munsinger. This is another book by Helen Lester. She writes about animals, just as she did in Hooray for Wadney Rat, right? Except in this book, instead of rats, we have a rabbit. Our main character is Buddy the rabbit. What do you notice about Buddy? Take a moment to look at our cover and see what are some of the things you see on our cover, right? We see Buddy, our big old rabbit, and his big tall ears, and then we see his friend right here who looks like he's shouting at him. That's right, Buddy does not listen very well, even though he has very big ears. Today we're going to read to find out what kind of trouble Buddy gets into because he doesn't listen. Even though Buddy doesn't pay attention to others, you can listen very carefully for things that are special about Helen Lester's writing. All right, I'm excited to get started. Buddy's father had a beautiful big nose. He was a great sniffer. And there he is, sniffing some carrot juice. Buddy's mother had beautiful big teeth. She was a great chomper. There is his mother. She's chomping on some carrots. Buddy had beautiful big ears. It didn't matter. When Buddy's parents sent him to the vegetable stand to get a basket of squash, he came home with a basket of wash. What mistakes does Buddy make? Think about the mistakes he's making. So they sent him to go get a basket of squash, but he got a bucket of wash. When they asked him to buy 15 tomatoes, he came home with 50 potatoes. Listen to these mistakes that he's making. As you listen to this story, notice what Buddy thinks he hears, but he's not listening or paying attention. As I'm reading the other pages, I want you to be thinking about how are these parts funny? What's funny about him trying to get squash, but he got some dirty clothes instead? Or what's funny about him supposed to get 15 tomatoes, but he got 50 potatoes? That is hilarious, and it tells me that Buddy's not a good listener. He's thinking he hears one thing, but because he's not paying attention, he's not really getting the directions he needs. Buddy's father said, "Listen, Buddy, will you please bring me a pen?" "Who?" asked Buddy. "You," said his father. "Will you please bring me a pen?" "A what?" asked Buddy. "A pen," said his father. "Will you please bring me a pen?" "Sure," said Buddy. Buddy's father said, and there's Buddy's father. He's asking him to bring him a pen. Buddy's looking at his book. So is he paying attention? No, he's not. He's still not paying attention because he's not even looking at his dad when he's giving directions. His dad asked him to bring him a pen, but what did he bring instead? He brought a hen. He brought a hen. Right? The words do not tell you what Buddy does, but how do you know? You have to listen to the words and look closely at the illustrations to understand, right? So in these pages, it doesn't say, does it ever say that Buddy brings him a hen? It never says he brings him a hen, but we know because Buddy's not a good listener that he brought him a hen instead of a pen. Sometimes you have to use the pictures of the story to understand what the author is trying to tell you, even if the author doesn't use their words. Buddy's mother said, "Listen, Buddy, will you please bring me a slice of bread?" "Who?" asked Buddy. "You," said his mother. "Will you please go get me a slice of bread?" A what? asked Buddy. "A slice of bread," said his mother. "Will you please bring me a slice of bread?" "Sure," said Buddy. And Buddy's mother, what does she say? Look, she's sitting at the table. And what is Buddy doing while she's giving him instructions? He's watching TV. So is he looking at her or listening to her? No, he's not. And she's like, "Bring me a slice of bread." And what did he bring instead? He brought a slice of bed, right? So Buddy has brought his mother a slice of bed instead of bread. We can see that's the top of a bed. Somehow, Buddy's mind was always wandering too far away from those beautiful ears. His parents tried yelling, "Listen, Buddy!" They tried whispering, "Listen, Buddy!" Nothing worked. There's his parents yelling. He's not listening. There's his parents whispering, and he's still not listening. What do Buddy's parents try when he doesn't listen? What do they say? They say it with me, "Listen, Buddy!" So first they started yelling. Why do you think they started whispering? They said, well, maybe if he is not hearing us when we're yelling, maybe we'll try whispering and to see if he'll listen in a different way. One day, Buddy got permission to go for a long hop. He had never been before allowed to go beyond the vegetable stand. "Listen, Buddy," his parents warned, "just remember that at the end of the road there are two paths. The path to the left will lead you around the pond and back home, but the path to the right will lead you to the cave of Scruffy Varmint. And that Scruffy Varmint has a nasty temper, so be sure to take the path to the left." "Right?" asked Buddy. "Left," said his parents. "Right," said Buddy, and with a salute of his paw, he hopped away. What do you think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? Go ahead and make a prediction about what's going to happen next in our story. Go ahead and take that prediction and put it in your head, and let's see if it is right. Miss Flores' prediction is that Buddy is going to go right, even though his parents told him to go left. Feeling very grown up, Buddy hopped along past the vegetable stand and onto the end of the road. Now, let's see, he pondered. Was I supposed to go left or right? Or right or left? He thought as hard as he could. The last thing I said was right, so that must be right. And right he went. What is going to happen? And we can see in the sign right here, it says left or right. And which way is he supposed to go? He's supposed to go left, but he goes right. And what does the right path look like? It looks kind of scary, huh? I can't wait to see what happens. 25 hops later, Buddy discovered that right was wrong. There in front of his cave was the Scruffy Varmint, doing scruffy things that varmints do, like snarling and mussing his hair and rubbing dirt in his knees and scratching a whole lot of itches. At his feet was a large pot of soup. "What are you going to do with that soup pot?" asked Buddy. "What does one usually do with a soup pot? Bake pie," replied the Scruffy Varmint, not too kindly. I'm going to make some soup." "Some what?" asked Buddy. "Soup," snarled the Scruffy Varmint. There is a Scruffy Varmint doing his Scruffy Varmint things, and there is this big pot of soup at the very bottom. Buddy had forgotten his parents' warning about the Scruffy Varmint. He asked eagerly, "May I help?" The Scruffy Varmint was not fond of having company, but with help he'd have his soup sooner. So he said, "All right, Bunny Rabbit, come gather me some firewood." "Who what?" asked Buddy. "You, firewood." Buddy eagerly hopped ahead of the Scruffy Varmint. Very gently he picked up a prickly bunch which he proudly held out. Roughly, the varmint grabbed the bundle. "I said firewood, not briarwood," he yelled, plucking the sharp thorns from his paw. So he said firewood, but then Buddy didn't grab firewood. He grabbed briarwood. Briarwood has little thorns on it, and that is why the varmint is so mad. Later, when the pot was filled with water, the Scruffy Varmint lay against the rock, licking his paws and barking orders. "Hustle, Bunny Rabbit, get the flour." "Yes, sir," said Buddy. Look at what Buddy grabbed. Did he grab flour? He grabbed some flowers. That's not what you use to cook. That is hilarious. 5 pinches of salt. "Yes, sir," said Buddy. 15 tomatoes. "Yes, sir," said Buddy. He said 5 pinches of salt, but what did Buddy think? He's holding a ruler with inches. So he thinks he said Inches. He said 5 inches of salt, not 5 pinches of salt. He said 15 tomatoes, but what did Buddy do? He got 50 potatoes, just like in the beginning of the story. And a big load of squash. Yes, sir, said Buddy. The scruffy varmint rose and gave the soup a stir. He took a taste. It tasted a little like, maybe I needed some pepper. Look at him. Did he get some squash? No, he got some wash. Is this going to be a delicious soup? I don't think so. Bunny Rabbit, get the pepper from the left side of the kitchen sink. The varmint growled. Who get the what from the where on the where what? Asked Buddy. And look at Varmint. He's starting to regret his decision. He says, maybe I should not have had Buddy make my soup. The scruffy varmint repeated, who get the what from the where on the side of the where what? Never mind. He stalked into the kitchen and got the pepper himself and sprinkled into the soup. There, he snarled. Now, Bunny Rabbit, put the soup on the fire. Buddy put the soup in the fire. Was that what he was supposed to do? No! The fire went sss, and so did the scruffy varmint. I'll teach you, he howled. I will have soup, Bunny Rabbit soup. I know just the bunny to use, the bunny rabbit who never listens. And did Buddy listen? Yes, he did. Oh no, he's gotten himself into some trouble. What do you think is going to happen next? Do you think the varmint's going to eat Buddy? Let's find out. He also hopped very, 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 very fast. Faster than he had ever hopped in his life. He whizzed up the road past the vegetable stand into the safety of his house. And there's the varmint, and he's chasing Buddy, and Buddy is hopping so fast. And a little later, when Buddy's parents asked him to bring a pen and a slice of bread, Buddy listened. And there he is giving his mom a slice of bread, not a bed, and his dad a pen instead of a hen. That was an awesome story. I'm sure some of you have been told that maybe not always you're a good listener. That story made Miss Flores think about the times where she wasn't quite listening or paying attention. That was such a great story, and I laughed a lot at the end. Thank you so much for joining me, and have a great Thanksgiving break, students.